Well, that is right, my friends. You are listening here to the home of Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. You can email me your thoughts, questions, opinions, feedback. I'll even accept your adoration and praise. Todd@ToddHuffShow.com. That is the email. This is the program, and I welcome you to it. It's just an amazing thing to witness here. We're just almost, not quite, 90 days into this. Almost 90 days in to Joe Biden riding in on his white horse to save America from President Donald J. Trump. And I see quite the opposite, folks. I see quite the opposite. I don't see things progressively getting better. In fact, I see things regressing around the world. You see the Biden administration is out there warning the nation of Russia not to amass troops in or around Ukraine. You see this again? It's amazing. We've already launched missiles or whatever, dropped some bombs in Syria in the first 90 days. Remember, President Trump was supposed to be the danger around the world. President Trump not starting any conflicts during his 4 years in office. Biden starting conflicts, watching things heat up around the world. We've got this situation. I don't know if you saw this with Iran. Iran has a place where their centrifuges are located, a nuclear facility that was targeted, they believe, by some sort of a cyber attack. Iran is calling this nuclear terrorism. Why does a country, presumably, I don't know who did this, but my first guess is Israel, right? I mean, that's probably, I would just say, the most likely country that has interjected itself. They are the ones who would face the most dire consequences, the most immediately dire consequences with a nuclear Iran. So they may be taking action. I don't necessarily know that to be the case, but I think that is a good place to start. And why are they having to do that? Because, surprisingly, when Biden took office, Iran is suddenly empowered. We're already starting to negotiate with Iran, restarting the so-called Iran nuclear deal from 2000 and whatever it was, 15. And the starting point is, Iran, you're gonna be able to have a pathway to nuclear weapons again. It's a remarkable thing. Remember, President Trump came out and criticized this and says, hey, if you're going to reverse this, at least don't start by taking away your most powerful bargaining chips. And the Biden administration, not surprisingly, has already done this as well. It is truly one thing after another here as we watch the beginnings of the Biden administration. But I want to start this morning with something that we have talked about in the past, in theory, and that is court packing. And Biden has announced that he's got a commission. Thank goodness we've got a commission coming at this to tell us how many justices need to be on the United States Supreme Court, along with some other things. He's launching a commission, one of those things that they're going to be studying. I'm looking here in a story from AmericanMilitaryNews.com. Headline, Biden creating Supreme Court Reform Commission, including expanding size. President Joe Biden signed an executive order, surprisingly, on Friday to create a commission of 36 legal experts to conduct a 180-day study on Supreme Court reform, including expanding the court size. Can you imagine? Pause. This is a 180-day study. We've seen Biden in office for 90 days. Can you imagine what the landscape is going to look like around the world and in this country in 180 days from now or whenever this thing kicks off? I can only imagine what this is going to look like at that point. But anyway, they're going to include in that study. They're going to look at expanding the Supreme Court's actual size. A White House statement provided to American Military News said the commission would examine reform topics, including a genesis of the reform debate, the court's role in the constitutional system, the length of service and turnover of justices on the court, the membership and size of the court, and the court's case selection rules and practices. This a news flash here. Now this is, we have three branches of government. They are co-equal. They're co-equal branches of government. Of course, one branch in certain areas has, I suppose you could say, power over a check and balance over the other. For example, the president can veto legislation sent to him by Congress, approved by both houses of Congress, but in return, Congress can override that veto and still make something law if the president doesn't sign it. The Supreme Court, for example, if it is tasked with, looking at a particular law passed by Congress, can say, Congress, the law that you passed was not constitutional. It's not consistent with what the Constitution says. We hereby strike down that law as being unconstitutional. Congress can then go back to that law and adjust it to address the concerns of the Supreme Court, thereby making sure that it is, within the court's view and make sure that it's consistent with the Constitution. There's multiple things, that the president can nominate a cabinet or justices to the Supreme Court, but they must go before the Senate for approval. On and on this stuff goes. But Biden is now saying he's going to he's going to empower a commission to study the Supreme Court and really how it functions. Now, this quickly, the court is not, it's just something I want to point out here. There's a lot more problems with this than this first point, but I want to just point out that it's not the job of the president or the executive branch or any person in the executive branch to tell the court how to operate. But that may be where this is going. The court does not serve President Biden or President Obama for that matter, or President Trump for that matter, the Biden-Obama administration, none of those. The court serves the American people. The court is there to interpret the law in the Constitution to make sure that it is being applied legally and lawfully to the best of their abilities. Now, that's not necessarily why all the justices are there. Some of those justices are there for reasons none other than to advance the cause of liberalism, to legislate from the bench, to make certain that things that liberals want to see enacted in this nation are actually followed through or carried out, even though Americans don't necessarily want those things. That's why we're living when you have the trifecta, I suppose, when you have a Democrat in the White House, a Democrat in Congress, or in control of the House and in control of the Senate, we've got to be extremely vigilant as to what we are letting these jokers do. And now they're wanting to have a commission. Of course, a commission. Commissions solve everything. Commissions in the minds of the lovers of government, the lovers of big government, this is how things get done. You put a bunch of pointy-headed liberal elitists into a room and you say, solve this problem, and poof, problem is solved. This is how this happens. This is how this is done. Now, they'll tell you, in fact, I'm going to play a soundbite here. This is Biden. I will say this. This is actually a campaign promise made by by candidate Joe Biden. And this was, I'm going to play a soundbite from an interview he had with Norah O'Donnell back in 2020, October of 2020, saying that if he wins the presidency, if he wins the presidency, he's going to do this very thing. I want you to listen to this exchange to get a full idea of at least what he was saying. He may not remember he said this, but this is what he was saying back in October of 2020. What did I say? Did I say 2022? Sorry, I'm thinking about Trump is out there saying that Congress, the Republicans are going to win the House back in 2022, and they're going to win the presidency in 2024, which of course continues to stir speculation as to whether or not he's going to announce a run. I think it's beautiful the way that he does this stuff, the way that he keeps people interested without actually telling people that he's running for president and so forth. Anyway, this is Biden talking with Norah O'Donnell, October 21st or 22nd of 2020, explaining what he's going to be doing if he's elected president, and this is what he's actually kicked off a commission to do. Here it is.
If elected, what I will do is I'll put together a national bipartisan commission of scholars, constitutional scholars, Democrats, Republicans, liberal, conservative, and I will ask them to, over 180 days, come back to me with recommendations as to how to reform the court system, because it's getting out of whack. The way in which it's being handled. And it's not about court packing. There's a number of other things that our constitutional scholars have debated, and I'd look to see what recommendations that commission might make.
So you're telling us you're going to study this issue about whether to pack the court?
No, whether there's a number of alternatives that go well beyond packing.
This is a live ball.
Oh, it is a live ball. No, it is a live ball. We're going to have to do that. And you're going to find there's a lot of conservative constitutional scholars who are saying it as well. The last thing we need to do is turn the Supreme Court into just a political football. Whoever has the most votes gets whatever they want. Presidents come and go. Supreme Court justices stay for generations.
There you go. So that is what he's saying. It's going to be, it's going to be a lot more than packing the court. There's a lot here. Conservatives, yeah. How many people think that there's going to be an equal number of conservatives on this commission? I can only imagine who Biden thinks is a conservative. I mean, George Conway comes to mind. George Will comes to mind. Some of these never-Trumpers who, might write for some of these pseudo so-called conservative publications and so forth. Think of maybe David French. Who knows? Who knows who he is going to throw on these panels as the so-called conservative? Any guesses? Any speculation as to what's going to happen from this? I got some thoughts on that I'll share on the other side of the break. But this is, look, make no mistake about this. Make no mistake about this. They are in a position in their minds where they, again, can see the proverbial finish line here. The finish line is, again, not just on the side of legislation, which we've talked about, things like the new Green Deal, whatever they end up calling this, however they can get it forced through, if they can get it forced into part of the infrastructure bill or what have you, expanding, long-term federal spending programs and so forth. Not just legislative things, but in addition to that, taking control of the Supreme Court in ways that will radically transform its ability to make rulings that are contrary to liberal positions. This is a dream of theirs. This is not just about advancing their ideology. This is about advancing their ideology, but it's also about making sure conservatives, Republicans, constitutionalists have no way of fighting back through the system anymore. That's what this is about. That's what H.R. 1 is about. I know it's maybe difficult to swallow at times because it's hard to comprehend someone disliking America as it currently exists, as it was founded to exist. It's confusing to people, especially if you've grown up loving this country, believing in the principles and concepts and ideas that this nation stands for. It's confusing to think someone would be an enemy to that. Someone would want to, quote, build it back better. Build it back better, folks. It's amazing that people want to turn from free markets and capitalism to a more government-run system, an economic system. It's confusing. It truly is to many people. I understand that. It's not, the more you understand who these folks are and what they're doing, it's not confusing. It's actually very, I would say, easy to predict in some ways. But it's still confusing. I remember when I was a young conservative, I didn't want, as much as I opposed what the left and the Democrat Party was doing, I didn't want to accept some of these things. I couldn't get there. It took me a while. I got there with the help of Rush Limbaugh because I believed that he was exactly right the way that he explained how these radicals thought, what they were trying to accomplish. And it's not simply to advance their ideology, though it is about that. It's about creating a situation whereby they can maintain power for effectively eternity. And that's what we're looking at here. We'll talk about this a little bit more on the other side of the break, but I've got to take a time out. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, Care to Change, and Interior Construction Services by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Flooded basement, failed sump pump. Water damage happens fast this time of year. For 38 years now, Hayes & Sons has been restoring water damage in Indiana homes and businesses. They'll help you navigate your insurance claim and get your life back on track. So when a water disaster strikes, tell your insurance agent you want Hayes & Sons for your restoration work. Visit hayesandsons.com/Todd for more information.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Unhappy with your CPAP machine? Now you have an alternative. The docs at Indy Dental Sleep have an oral appliance that treats snoring and sleep apnea. They begin with an in-home sleep test that is diagnosed by a sleep physician before prescribing your appliance. And it's covered by most medical insurance plans. It's preferred 20-1 versus CPAP. Call 317-888-4036 and start getting the sleep you need. Or visit IndyDentalSleep.com.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Corn Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corn Homes, family-owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
Welcome back. By the way, this program brought to you in part by one of our newest advertisers, White's Innovative Glass. White'sInnovativeGlass.com, family-owned and operated company. They offer commercial glass services throughout the state of Indiana, specializing in commercial glass installation, repair, and replacement services for a variety of custom glass features. Again, White's Innovative Glass, 812-221-2215, 812-221-2215. In fact, I should tell you, the building in which our offices are located in Mooresville, there is one of our neighbors has an issue with his glass, the glass on the front of the building, and it needs to be replaced. And so, the landlord, I spoke with the landlord about Caleb and White's Glass, and they met on Saturday to take a look at that. And I'm telling you this because I get a picture texted to me. They're in our office. The landlord let him in because I think he thought this was funny. And there's a banner. One of our banners is up in the office, a pop-up banner that we take with us to events and so forth. It's got a picture of yours truly on there to scare the mice away. But they had taken a little piece of paper, and above my head, like a thought bubble, they put the name Biden up there. And it's still stuck on that banner. It's coming down first thing today when I get in there. Anyway, White's Innovative Glass, they're good to have them on the program. White'sInnovativeGlass.com. So let's get back to the Supreme Court commission here. This commission that's going to look at it, fix the problem, right? Biden paints this picture as though the reason we have problems in the court is really and truthfully, which again, it expands beyond the Supreme Court. It's the federal judiciary as a whole, which we know Trump got a lot of conservative justices on those courts. Pause. I want to pause there, though. I want to pause and explain something that I think is critically important. You hear people talking about justices and judges, Supreme Court, federal judges, and so forth. You hear people throw terms around, and I just did. I said conservative judges or justices, liberal judges or justices. And it gives the appearance, when you use those terms, I guess, in a casual way, it makes it appear that the court is politicized, meaning that what Biden said in that segment, or that clip last segment, was actually true. He said, look, we don't want to have a situation where if one side has more votes, they get what they want. If the other side gets more votes, they get what they want as well. And he's right on that. But what's the reason for that? See, this is where I think the Democrats and the left, the Democrat Party leaders, the left is ahead of us. And I'm not saying we should employ their tactics because they're deceitful, but they have a starting point ahead of us because they don't waste time in trying to explain the circumstances of the situation. They just want to basically, I guess, give themselves an argument start off by using terms that give them an advantage to win. They don't really care what you know about it. They want to say, how can we manipulate people based upon what their starting premise is about this court? How can we use that to our advantage to win? Conservatives like me want to say, let me explain what's going on so that you understand. Because I'm telling you, when people understand this, when people understand what's going on, they will side with conservative principles 9 times out of 10, because not even the principles, just the approach. Just the approach. And the solution to this isn't to change the court. The solution is to change the types of people we nominate to the Supreme Court. And so when I say a conservative justice, I'm not saying I want someone to go in there and to implement their ideology because they have the votes to do that. That is not at all what I mean. Conservative justice, a conservative justice is someone who believes the Constitution and the law needs to be applied as intended, as written by those who wrote the law and or the Constitution. They don't get to cite, as liberal justices have said. It was either Breyer or Souter that said this at one point throughout. I think it was Breyer, who said that you can cite foreign law in a Supreme Court decision. See, that's a problem, because that's not our system. I don't want to make this overly complicated to some leftist tuned in this morning. I'm just teasing them. Welcome to the program. But I am saying this. That is not the way that you do this. What you do is, candidly, exactly what Kavanaugh said during his confirmation process, which is this. If you're a judge, if you're a Supreme Court justice or a judge, and you don't occasionally make decisions or rulings that you personally agree with, you are not doing your job, because your job isn't to implement what it is that you want to see happen. It's not to take the ideology of that judge, in the case of Brett Kavanaugh. It's not to say this is what Brett Kavanaugh would do, this is what his personal preference is, and this is the outcome of the case. No, no, no. Instead, what he does is says, what does the law say? He says, how does that apply to this case? How do I balance constitutional concepts and principles with this law? And then the arguments being made. How do I piece that together? How do I do that? He may say, I don't like this ruling, but this is where reasoning and rationale leads me. And folks, if we had justices that did that, then it would not matter. It truly would not matter. And I know this is living in a fantasy world. So I'm not saying that that's even conceivable completely. But if we had justices that were nominated that truly interpreted the law and then said to Congress, if you want to do something about the law, quit bringing something to me to try to implement a solution, an idea that you want to see implemented, but you can't get the political support for. You have to do the politics. I have to do the interpretation. We, this court, have to do the interpretation and the application. That's what we're supposed to be doing, figuring this out on a case-by-case basis. If you want to see the new Green Deal passed, for example, I'm not going to dig and find that in the Constitution. You got to find a law. You have to find a policy that is consistent with the Constitution and other federal statutes that may come into play here. And you have to craft a piece of legislation, a bill. It's got to pass both houses. And if there's a court case that challenges this bill, I'm going to interpret it based upon what it says and then how I apply it. That's what's going to happen. Don't blame me. Don't look to me. Don't look to this court to implement your liberal ideology. That's not the way that this works. But see, that is the way that it works for the radical left. In fact, if you look at the things that they have implemented over history, they have used the courts in many instances. I think of Roe versus Wade, for example. I think of same-sex marriage, for example. Oftentimes, things that in the political and legislative process, there have been specific, there have been challenges or political referendums and so forth on ballots. Those issues lost a lot of times. But the court comes in and they basically wipe the slate clean and say any law that prohibits this or that is unconstitutional. We've declared this the law of the land. And I defy you to find an example of a conservative position where this has happened. It happens with the liberals all the time. And activists, put another way, judicial activism is the problem on the court. Judicial activism. If all 9 justices are radical liberals, but yet they truly, if they're personally radicals, if they're out there voting for Bernie Sanders, if they simply follow the law and follow the Constitution as written and as intended by the founders, and they were originalists, of course, those things at some point are irreconcilable. How can you be an originalist and be in favor of Bernie Sanders? I get it. But the point is not so much the ideology, though that is a problem, but it's only a problem if you say, I am willing to implement my ideology through judicial activism, basically saying, I don't care what the law says, I don't care what the Constitution says, this is what David Souter thinks, this is what Sonia Sotomayor thinks, this is what Elena Kagan thinks. That is where the real problem comes in, is judicial activism. There's nothing wrong with the court as a whole in the sense of the system. The problem is that we have nominated and confirmed some on that court who want to implement their ideology. And if a conservative implements his or her ideology through a court case, I'm not cool with that either, folks. I'm not. The ends does not justify the means to me. We have to follow the rule of law. We have to make sure each branch stays in its proverbial lane. And we have to make sure that we're following the constitutional precepts here. That's what the problem is. And I'm telling you, you know what's going to happen. The things we're going to find out from this commission. Got to take a break. You can only imagine. Your imagination's running wild with what this commission is going to tell us. Quick time out. Come back. Probably a few more words on that, and then we're going to shift some gears and get into some other issues as well, including Trump out there talking about winning in 2022, Republicans winning the House, the presidency, all these sorts of things. I want to get to that in the second half of the program here. A little bit long in this segment. Sit tight, back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com. There is plenty to worry about these days. If you're working with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual, your retirement and financial security doesn't need to be one of them. Blake is a time-tested financial advisor with over 20 years of experience at Northwestern Mutual. For an independent review of your financial planning needs, call Blake and mention the Todd Huff Show for a free initial consultation. Call 317-215-8322 or visit blakehornsby.com. Invest in your peace of mind with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
You are tuned in to America's Reality Czar, self-appointed, willing to fill the spot in that position, created by the Biden administration at the behest of the New York Times. I'm here to help President Joe Biden in any way possible, and being America's Reality Czar is one way that I'm willing to serve my nation. Really quickly, one more thing here before I shift gears and get back into this move on to President Trump. Do you have any doubts what's going to happen here with this study to commission changing the Supreme Court? Any guesses where this will end up? You think that the commission's going to find that we can or should or maybe even must expand the size of the Supreme Court? You think that's going to be the case? Again, I can only imagine what we're going to find out. We may find out somewhere during this process that the number 9, which is the number of justices on the Supreme Court, we may find out the number 9 is racist. We may find that out through this commission. We might find out that we must have more justices on the Supreme Court in order to save our democracy. We might find that this is the critical component. This is the final link to save our democracy. It's do or die. It's more than 9 or bust. We might find that out. We might even find out that Chuck Schumer and his aides, his staffers, will find a hidden section in the Constitution that's written in invisible ink, and that they will decode with the help of Nicolas Cage. They may find that there's a number in there that the founders wanted, a number of justices the founders had intended to put on the Supreme Court, which of course will be more than 9. Is there any doubt that this is where this is going? I don't care what Biden says about conservatives, Republicans, Democrats, all these different groups of people. We know who's going to have control of this commission. We know who these folks are going to be. We know what their intentions are. We know that this is at least a very, very strong possibility that they're going to be recommending that America changes the number of justices or something else fundamentally important here. They hit on some things that make you wonder, what are they going to do? How the court chooses its cases? That's the court's prerogative, right? The court's prerogative on how to choose cases. Now Biden and his commission, they're going to tell them how to do that? What's that going to look like? Anyway, timeout is in order. Quick timeout. Come back. I want to shift gears, talk about President Trump 2022, 2024. and all the things kind of in that direction. He's speaking to some Republican donors, and he makes some comments that I want to share with you. We'll do that after the break. Sit tight. Be back here in just a minute.
Enrollment in Todd's conservative, not bitter university is now open. For a limited time, save $10 on Todd's first course, A Christian's Guide to Being a Patriot. For more information or to enroll, visit conservativenotbitter.com. Sponsored in part by Workforce Chaplains. Could your business or organization benefit from the services of a professional team of chaplains? Meet the needs of your employees and foster an excellent work environment with Workforce Chaplains. For more information, visit workforcechaplains.com today.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today, providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price. Our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create, on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
Weddings, reunions, business, church, or family retreats. Indiana Paradise Retreat is a hidden gem located right here in central Indiana. With over 11,000 square feet, a theater, gym, sauna, hot tub, pool, stocked lakes, and even an on-site event hangar, we have just the place for your next event. Find us on Airbnb, VRBO, or just search for Indiana Paradise Retreat. We look forward to seeing you soon.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the health care they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Welcome back, my friends. By the way, this program brought to you in part by our friends at Northwestern Mutual. Blake Hornsby in Greenwood, over 20 years experience, financial advisor. Contact him, mention the Todd Huff Show to get your free initial consultation. You can find out more by visiting his website, blakehornsby.com. Blake Hornsby, that's HORNSBY, blakehornsby.com, or call 317-215-8322, 317-215-8322. I think I mentioned this on here before. I played football with Blake at Butler back in back 150 years ago. Sharp guy. Reach out if this is something that you're looking into, some financial advice, investments, that sort of thing. BlakeHornsby.com. 215-8322 is the phone number. So let's talk a little bit here. President Trump has reportedly spoken with donors over the weekend here. This is in the Epic Times. Trump predicts GOP will retake Congress in 2022, White House in 2024. Former President Donald Trump, in a speech to Republican donors on April 10th, which would have been Saturday, predicted that the GOP will win back both houses of Congress in 2022 and the presidency in 2024. He says this: "We are gathered tonight to talk about the future of the Republican Party, and what we must do to set our candidates on a course to victory. I stand before you this evening filled with confidence that in 2022 we are going to take back the House and we are going to reclaim the Senate, and then in 2024 a Republican candidate is going to win the White House." You may have seen this too last week. Mark Meadows asked about President Trump's chances, the odds that he would be running for president in 2024. Meadows said the chances that Trump does that are better than 50-50. This is what he said in a radio show with Sebastian Gorka. "I'm feeling great about President Trump's willingness to serve once again in the Oval Office." He added that President Trump is making all the preparations necessary for another run, and he's being encouraged by his friends and former staffers. This is according to the Washington Examiner. Again, Mark Meadows on Sebastian Gorka's radio program. So Trump's still out there fighting the fight, which, again, is multifaceted. I mean, you've got the electoral side of this, winning elections. You've got fighting the issues, right? You've got Democrats that are trying to basically create a permanent majority for themselves by passing things like the For the People Act, by generating all this faux outrage at the Georgia election law, right? They need to demonize what Republicans are doing. So they point to the Georgia election law and they say, "Oh, this is atrocious. This is terrible. This is voter suppression." As I said last week, from this point forward, all Democrat bills that have anything to do with elections will be known as voter fraud bills. Since all Republican bills are called voter suppression bills by the left and by the media, some in the media, we're going to dub these Democrat bills voter fraud bills. And so they demonized the Republican bill in the state of Georgia, even though other states do pretty much the same exact thing, including this state, the state of Indiana. They demonize, and then they say this law in Georgia is racist, is trying to suppress the vote. It's all these terrible things. So we have to have a national For the People Act where Democrats come in and make all things fair, because this is unacceptable. And some people buy into this nonsense. Others see what's clearly going on here. But this is what we're up against. So it's winning the political battles, winning the fights over the current legislation, which we're going to have to fight tooth and nail, folks, to make sure that this is that we defend and prevent some of these things from happening, because 2022 won't come quickly enough if they're able to usher all these things in. And on top of that, what we've been talking about, the other half of this program, the Supreme Court. Changing the Supreme Court so that it fits easier with the liberals' ability to implement their ideology, oftentimes by even bypassing the process whereby it goes before the people, the so-called democratic process here. Just make it law by the Supreme Court. Got to take a break. Out of time here. Sit tight. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Stay on top of the nonsense our colleges are subjecting students to today by listening to Todd's monthly interview series with Matt Lamb, assistant editor of The College Fix. Listen at toddhuffshow.com/college. Brought to you by Apprentice University. With so many societal changes, everyone's talking about apprenticeships and college debt. Businesses seek employees with practical problem-solving skills. Visit apprentice.university to learn about our demanding academics and paid apprenticeships in excess of tuition. No debt, in-demand skills, Christian community.
Are you looking for reliable advice on real estate investing? Then you should start listening to the Homeboys. Clint and Scott have over 40 years of real estate investing experience that they use to educate and guide their listeners. Listen and learn from their experiences to maximize your real estate investment strategy. You can find the Homeboys podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watch them on YouTube. That's the Homeboys podcast. They can show you how to get started and reach your real estate investment goals.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's G-L-U-F-F plumbing.com. Call us today.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. All right, my friends, that's about all the time that we have today. But I want to say this. I want to say this in closing. I would be doing a disservice to you if I did not point out that this is not over. We just have to be engaged. We have to be prepared to fight. There's lots of fronts on this battle that we're fighting. Metaphorical, of course. It's why we've launched CNBU, Conservative Not Bitter University. We need to educate and promote our ideas, communicate those in our sphere of influences. Make sure we vote for and nominate the right politicians. There's lots of things we can do. Don't give up hope, but look, we got a lot of work to do. I've got to go. Thanks for listening. SDGC tomorrow. Take care.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. living the compassion of Christ.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.
Quality glass windows and doors add value to your home or commercial space. At White's Innovative Glass, our family-owned and operated company will work with you to ensure we understand your vision before we begin. And if you don't have a vision, we can help with that too. We proudly stand behind our work and look forward to your call. Right now, we're offering 15% off your next project. Visit our website at whitesinnovativeglass.com/Todd.